A huge thank you to Mori for giving me permission to post their creature concept submissions for this video. Yatiibo are herbivores that live in large herds. Despite their harmless appearance, these creatures are fiercely protective of each other, gathering in groups. Thanks to the ability to replenish their appetite, Yatiibo can live far from fertile lands and danger. These graceful flying giants dwell in flower caves, camouflaging themselves among colorful plants. They love to spend time in the sun, lounging lazily or having fun playing with each other in the air. Katzassurru are peaceful creatures and rarely hunt, leaving their domains in search of large prey. Spring leopards are incredibly dangerous and very poisonous, as their body is covered with toxic petals, so other predators try to avoid conflict with them. Despite their bright bioluminescence, these creatures take their hunting very seriously and will dim their glowing markings when after tricky prey. Hunts will occur often, as their hunger is almost endless. Shiyaro are lightweight creatures that travel by gliding along wind currents within rainforests in short bursts of energy. They live with each other in small family groups of 3 to 5. Kriffin are extremely passive creatures. They stand about knee height and are full of energy. They can be found anywhere dark, as their glowing crystals light the way. With such small wings, they are only able to flutter small distances, so they are typically found on the ground. Therokis are small and agile creatures, although quite unintelligent. They aren't shy to challenge larger, more dangerous creatures for territory or food. Consequently, they end up eaten more often than not. Big fluffy beasts who live in herds lead by the herd leader, which is a male. Females have smaller horns, chin and no hair on their head, but have longer tusks. Brave and ferocious vulture, keeper of ancient swords. The body of the creature is partially covered with hardened steel, like armor. 2 bird heads are held on strong chains. Sairiein is distinguished by its noble disposition and fury in battle, using sharp blades and the power of magical light contained in its body against enemies. Scorpitris live in hot climates in small groups and jealously guard their territory. These creatures do not need water and avoid it, so they can often be seen near the volcano. Scorpitri's body is covered in very spicy pepper-like plants, aggressive coloration and the ability to inflict painful burns, allow saber-toothed peppers to avoid unnecessary confrontations. Buukon are passive-aggressive herbivorous tanks that utilize their thick and heavy armor to threaten and injure opponents, as well as shelter itself. The Kendyll is the great carnivore tyrant which slowly walks around Sonaria. Because of their lackluster speed, their preferred method of ambush hunting, their jaws are extraordinarily strong and can snap bones like a twig. A frightening appearance, incredible strength and a brutal roar instill fear in everyone who gets in the way of this predator. Wystora is a skittish, small herbivore. They can be found in small herds of 5 to 7. They enjoy eating fruits and berries, and find peace in the fields and open areas. When frightened, Wystora will bunch together and emit loud calls, hoping to scare away the predator. Militrua is an extremely defensive herbivore that dwells on the ocean floors and around shallow bays to stay near the air's oxygen. Its shell is made entirely of metal, making it an extremely durable creature. Electric currents run through its shell at all times and shock a predator when it attacks. Due to their extreme defense, they remain quite passive even around large carnivores. The Geogoff is an armored quadruped with large bushy tail and paws. This creature prefers to live in deep burrows that it digs into the ground. Geogoff navigates well in the dark thanks to his sensitive whiskers. It looks like a combination of a sloth and a mole in stature and appearance. Citrulantis are tall thin plant-like creatures that are very flighty. They are alarmed by the smallest sound and are quick to jump away. They They bounce like deer skipping when running. Their small curly tongue is used like a straw to slurp up water. It lives in deep woods, in caves near water, and eats small creatures, and it likes dark places, and it is not good at swimming, but it likes to play in cool water. Gramoss are surprisingly docile and social herbivores with the capacity to empathize for other creatures. They are commonly seen sheltering smaller creatures beneath its stone-like body as it grazes for food. Traiboros are creatures that hunt in the dark, around forests and open oceans. They are skilled at swimming and use their bioluminescence to attract bugs and prey. Lures are bioluminescent creatures that resemble a lizard and anglerfish. They live in dark underwater caves or at great depths. Muted coloration allows lure to hide in the darkness of the waters, attracting the attention of naive prey with bright luminous markings. Chrysos are aggressive carnivores. They're extremely territorial towards other creatures, especially when they have offspring. Female Chrysos care for their young until they're old enough to fend for themselves. Eiroca is a deep-sea creature with many bioluminescent markings. The creature's fins resemble seaweed and help it hide among aquatic vegetation. Due to the special shape of the head and the arrangement of the fins, Eiroca swims freely even in the thickest seaweed. This is a territorial creature and can be aggressive. Dukku Mo'otrae is a herbivorous, semi-mechanical turtle. The shell resembles a huge steam machine reinforced with stone discs and metal. Turtles are very peaceful and spend most of their lives moving slowly through the desert or burrowing into the ground. Dukku Mo'otrae leave their territory only for the sake of lush green bushes on the border with the plains or in oases. Ani are quite unusual creatures. They roam Sonaria mostly as solitary travelers, constantly in search of the injured. It is known that they have a deep sense of altruism and that these mysterious creatures can harness powers from the closest star to heal those in need. Eulopii is a strong creature with an upright stance. They are an evolved form of the Eulopii and protect their own species with their lives. Cuthu'lu R'nglui are deep-sea all-terrain omnivores that resemble octopuses. They are most often seen on the reefs at night, singing in large flocks in the moonlight. During the daytime, these creatures usually spend at great depths. They prefer to hunt from ambush, dragging victims underwater. Cobrauffless is a carnivorous big cobra resembling a predatory desert. These creatures lure prey with deceptive bright patterns on their bodies, masquerading as berries or treats. Smooth movements and unusual coloration on the head and hood allow Cobraufflesses to have a hypnotic effect on other creatures. Snakes prefer to live in underground tunnels or deep burrows. A predatory photocarny hydra of huge size that lives in a tropical climate. Dionaeurus does not need water, but often lives near water sources where the air is more humid. These hydras do not actively hunt, waiting for careless prey among fruit thickets and flowers. Dionaeurus Venuella prefers to feed on carrion or insect-like creatures. Puro is an extremely lightweight bird with exceptional flight abilities. As Puro ages, they begin to develop glowing bulbs which help them enter an invisible state to hide from predators. Their large fluffy plumes help prevent bleeding, though they flee from fights. Ralokai is a bioluminescent and semi-aggressive omnivore with a sleeping ability. Diesuras are pack creatures. They're stronger in numbers but well off on their own most of the time. They use their strong legs to kick, claw or fight to fend off predators. Dragonics are small and agile photocarnivores. Most of the time they are actively roaming across the oasis, but during midday rest atop large boulders to sunbait for energy. It's not uncommon to find a Dragonix's tail dropped in the sand from where it was chased. Somnia'elus are enigmatical flyers filled with magical light and clad in armor dark as night. These noble creatures combine elements of dragons and wyverns who seek secrets beyond dreams. They prefer to live as high as possible in the mountains or on floating islands. Their nature is shrouded in mystery, but many believe that Somnia'elus are able to give beauteous dreams or terrible nightmares. Scorpri-Trienas are scorpion-like stone creatures that live in caverns and mineral deposits. Females are distinguished by crowned heads. They are born from crystal rocks and act as queens of the swarm. Females form eggs from gems to give birth to new offspring of numerous male protectors. These creatures lead a secluded lifestyle, almost never leaving the crystalline caves, but become extremely aggressive at the sight of uninvited guests. Lithal is semi-aquatic glider that lives at shallow depths among soft corals and algae. Over the course of lives, they are overgrown with a wide variety of aquatic plants and shells, which are used by small fish as a refuge. Lithal is able to control small volumes of air around, creating special bubbles. Thanks to this skill, they easily move between different bodies of water, both in water and in the air, not forgetting to take friendly fish with them. Corvirax is a nomadic flyer whose colorful coat hides a voracious, cunning vulture. They often destroy others' nests and take up cozy shelters to breed their own offspring. Vultures rarely stay in one place and constantly move through the ground or air, carrying with them newborn chicks, eggs, or pieces of meat. These speckled crows easily adapt to a wide variety of conditions and live in large, bustling groups. The great sea serpent, the warden of the depths, Malveathian, is the true master of the underwater world. This majestic and terrifying creature emerged from such unimaginable depths, where the existence of other life forms is impossible and where light cannot reach. According to legend, Eigion Warden cut the once unified land with its sharp ridge, creating islands, continents, crevices, and endless underwater labyrinths. By the will of this creature, water overflows its banks and covers almost the entire earth, mercilessly devouring one piece of land after another. Apophax resembles a small mobile factory that continuously processes organic matter. The body of this alien creature is dotted with tubes and outgrowths in the form of elongated pipes, which are even on its paws to absorb plants and organic minerals while moving. In the process of life, Apophax actively releases toxic smoke into the atmosphere and has a negative impact on food or water sources. Apophax is harmless while minding its own business, but will attack without hesitation if it sees other creatures as potential fuel. Solus Ortrue is a sunborn hawk that resembles a phoenix. These fast flyers draw energy during the day, basking in the sun's rays. Due to the disc and the special structure of the feathers, Solus Ortrue can accumulate the heat of the sun, spewing it outward in a jet of flame. Baratos is a huge glider that compensates for its low movement speed with incredible stamina. The body of the creature is very strong and covered with coarse growths and plates. Baratos has a unique anatomy and is able to lengthen the limbs almost twice in order to control the air currents. For communication between relatives over long distances, these gliders use a complex language, passing air through a hole in the belly, creating unusual sounds similar to whistling. Reaper from the abyss, assembled from the bones, dust and memories of times gone by, wanders around the world, focusing on the aura that living beings exude. Cutting flesh with claws, Mogane sees fragments from the life of prey. Mogane's body is covered with special seals that allow to keep its unlife in cold bones. Brave and ferocious keeper of ancient swords. The body of the creature is partially covered with hardened steel, like armor. Knight's helmet is chained to the body. Lotrimum is distinguished by its noble disposition and fury in battle, using sharp blades and knightly courage against enemies. Shiyaro lives among ice floes and in cold caves. It catches cold air currents and snow blizzards to swiftly hunt unsuspecting prey. These creatures live in groups in the coldest areas. Shiyaro can be heard from afar, focusing on incredibly loud cold cries. Wolfruginati are large, ferocious wolves that live in the mountains. During the day they sleep in caves or patrol the territory, zealously protecting their borders, and at night they go out hunting, gathering in packs and finding their own kind under the deafening howl. The fury of these predators intensifies with the coming of the blood moon. Sentinel is a solitary creature, predominantly nocturnal. It avoids direct sunlight and may go into a sort of hibernation during the summer, especially sunny or hot periods. Based on the lunar calendar, Sentinel is able to accumulate and concentrate special light. The majesty of the sky and the abyssal watcher of the depths. These enormous creatures act as beacons of light to lost creatures despite their scary outward appearance. Most creatures mistakenly attack them out of fear because they tend to hover over creatures when they approach like a predator would its prey. Large flying fish, their behavior reminiscent of cats or otters, Permaritsu feels comfortable both on the water and in the sky. They prefer to hunt in small groups for fish or unwary flyers, grabbing them with huge paws. They can often be seen resting on ice or frolicking in the water, endlessly jumping and diving, making loud noises. Rosemurs are tropical predators masquerading as colorful flowers. Huge red rosebuds hide a predatory head full of sharp teeth inside. These creatures resemble thorn bushes and use the spines on their bodies to defend themselves and hunt. Rosemurs live in groups of 4 to 7 individuals and spend most of their time resting in green meadows, forming colorful clusters of roses.